Qui-Gon Jinn, a Jedi Master, stood out as a brilliant and open-minded force in his time. Despite stirring up debates with the Jedi Council, his unique perspectives on the Force and Jedi practices set him apart. A bit of a rebel, Qui-Gon's belief in doing what's right made him influential among his fellow Jedi, earning him admiration and respect. His ability to bring about significant changes in the Jedi Order showcased the impact of his renegade spirit. Although Qui-Gon Jinn aimed to make a difference, surprisingly, he wasn't a part of the Jedi Council, the ideal platform for influencing the Lost Order. Why? What was his dynamic with the Council, and why did he turn down the opportunity to join them? Today, my fellow adventurers, we're going to dive into it and figure out this intriguing mystery. The best way to describe Qui-Gon Jinn's association with the Jedi Council could be characterized as a somewhat mix of reluctant but mutual respect. Despite frequent clashes and Qui-Gon's inclination to go against the Council's directives, a trait rarely observed among the Jedi, there existed a somewhat harmonious coexistence. It might be tempting to assume that the Council disapproved of Qui-Gon's independent stance, yet Claudia Gray's novel Master and Apprentice suggests a more nuanced relationship. In a crucial narrative twist, Qui-Gon is extended an invitation to join the esteemed Jedi Council. This invitation signifies an acknowledgement of his unique perspective and, surprisingly, the Council expresses a genuine need for his insights. They emphasize the value of Qui-Gon's moments of self-awareness and his rare ability to admit to the imperfections within the Jedi Order. This intricate portrayal in Master and Apprentice hints at a deeper understanding between Qui-Gon and the Council, showcasing a relationship that goes beyond a mere disagreement to encompass a recognition of each other's strengths and perspectives. However, before Qui-Gon could respond to this enticing proposition, a new mission beckoned for him and Obi-Wan. Amidst their disagreements, Qui-Gon's perspectives on the Jedi became evident. He viewed them as false idols. Despite keeping these thoughts largely to himself, Qui-Gon possessed a keen awareness of the extent to which the Jedi had deviated from their noble path, a realization surpassing that of the Council. This awareness bred apprehension within him about joining their ranks. Qui-Gon's understanding went deep. He recognized that the Jedi had long departed from the pure principles of the light side. Rather than serving the galaxy in accordance with the Force's dictate, the Jedi had begun dictating their own terms. Qui-Gon discerned that the Jedi, once emblematic of noble ideals, no longer embodied the purity they had initially stood for. This realization formed a significant hurdle for him, making the prospect of joining the Council a complex decision fraught with internal conflict. Qui-Gon Jinn harbored a belief that the Jedi had succumbed to excessive politics, transforming into a de facto private police force for the Chancellor and the Senate. This shift marked a departure from their original doctrine. Qui-Gon, with a keen historical awareness, recognized that the Republic had essentially assimilated the Jedi Order into its governance, turning them into an extension of the Chancellor's influence, and this contradicted the Jedi's initial purpose. In the bygone era of the Jedi Order, they operated independently as peacekeepers, devoid of affiliations with any specific government, including the Galactic Senate, answerable only to themselves. This autonomy allowed them to move freely and enact morally unbiased changes, untouched by the constraints of policy or economics. Qui-Gon, a staunch purist, remained devoted to the original ideals of the Jedi, ideals that guided their actions in a principled manner. However, during Qui-Gon's generation of the Order, a significant shift occurred. The Jedi found themselves moving in alignment with the Republic's directives, tethered to the government's decisions, and consequently, they operated where the Republic dictated, relinquishing the freedom to act independently. This new alignment meant that where the government was inclined to turn a blind eye, the Jedi too followed suit. This transformation presented a stark departure from the Jedi's foundational principles and left Qui-Gon grappling with the erosion of their once unwavering commitment to justice and independence. Qui-Gon keenly observed a transformation within the Jedi, witnessing them shift from the embodiments of the Force to tools of the Republic and Senate. His discernment led him to a poignant realization: if the Senate, like any politician, could be influenced through buying or bribery, the Jedi, by extension, became indirectly susceptible to such influences. Their affiliation with a potentially corrupt government meant that their compliance could be acquired through the manipulation of their rulers. In essence, people didn't need to directly bribe the Jedi. They merely had to sway those in power. Now, let's zoom in on the specific disagreements that brewed between Qui-Gon and the Jedi Council. A significant point of contention arose regarding a proposed treaty on Pajal. This treaty, while not explicitly legalizing slavery within the Republic's territory, contained provisions that permitted corporations to treat individuals as if they were slaves. The Galactic Republic, however, displayed a willingness to make exceptions for mega corporations. that supported the overall galactic economy. In a disconcerting parallel, this leniency within the government mirrored the newfound deviation of the Jedi Order, creating a pale imitation of its once principled self. The clash between Qui-Gon's unwavering ideals and the compromises entertained by the Council illustrated a growing disconnect within the Jedi Order. Qui-Gon Jinn, perceptive of the stark departure from the Jedi's original purpose, recognized that the Jedi of yesteryear would not have tolerated the compromises made in the Republic. Instead of being the catalysts for positive change they were meant to be, the Jedi chose to not disrupt the status quo within the Republic. In the face of a critical decision, Yoda, a revered figure within the Council, advocated overseeing the treaty signing to maintain peace, even if it meant avoiding unnecessary disruptions. This stance didn't sit well with Qui-Gon Jinn. He opted to invest his time in connecting with the Force, delving into the intricacies of the galaxy's fabric. The living Force and the cosmic Force working in tandem, guided by the Force, he embarked on numerous adventures across the galaxy, independent of the Jedi Council's direct involvement. Qui-Gon sought knowledge and sought answers on his own terms, often at odds with the Council's perspective. Upon his return to Coruscant, faced with the decision of joining the Council, Qui-Gon concluded that such commitment would distance him from the essence of the Force. He feared that becoming entangled with the Council would risk dampening his profound connection to the Force, a connection he had nurtured through his independent explorations and interactions with the living fabric of the galaxy. While Qui-Gon Jinn could have theoretically instigated change as a Council member, a pivotal decision regarding slavery reinforced his sense of being an eternal outsider among them. Even within the Jedi High Council, which purported to value his insights, Qui-Gon felt his independence and connection with the Force compromised. Joining the Council would mean forfeiting the freedom to traverse the galaxy as the Force guided him, limiting his ability to follow its will and explore its mysteries. This divergence allowed Qui-Gon to glean profound insights into the Force, surpassing the knowledge of his peers. His independent explorations paved the way for groundbreaking discoveries, from pioneering the preservation of consciousness after physical death to unraveling the prophecy of the Chosen One on Tatooine, and aligning himself more closely with the traditions of the old Jedi. Qui-Gon Jinn respectfully declined the Council's offer of a seat, expressing a desire to remain true to his principles. In the remaining chapters of his life, Qui-Gon dedicated himself to teaching and guiding Obi-Wan during their apprenticeship, rejecting the notion of being confined to a room discussing politics day by day. He believed his time and energy were better spent on independent adventures guided by the Force. Qui-Gon, a steadfast guardian of the old Jedi ways, chose the path less trodden, valuing his connection with the Force and the pursuit of knowledge beyond the confines of political discussions. Qui-Gon, arriving at the realization that the Jedi Order had strayed too far from one individual to enact significant mass-scale change, concluded that his best course of action was to champion his own freedom, and true to his word, Qui-Gon possessed the unique ability to forge his own path, becoming a source of inspiration for individual Jedi, notably Obi-Wan and later Anakin, even if their outcomes varied. This man of principle held the belief that by influencing individual Jedis like Obi-Wan, his viewpoints could gradually reshape the trajectory of the Jedi Order over time. While unable to orchestrate sweeping transformations across the entire Order, Qui-Gon aimed to leave a lasting impact on fellow Knights, and in doing so, he aspired to instigate genuine change, hoping that his legacy would endure beyond his own actions. And that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, then please do make sure to visit our channel for more interesting content. May the Force be with you.